Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and I've been going through, or I've already gone through, the top 100 games on Board Game Geek as of February 2020. Well, now, as I kind of a capper to the end of this, I want to talk about the 23 games that are no longer in the top 100. So this will be real quick here, just talking about them, and realize that by the time you watch this video, they're probably already in different positions. I made this list just a few days ago, and there's already like 8 changes on it. So there's 23 games that fell off. We're going to go through these real quickly and just talk about the game. So we're going to start with the lowest falling one, and then go all the way up to the one game that just fell out at 101. So first we have Steam. Steam is currently at 156. It was 100 last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, when I did the list in 2018. This one fell off, I think, for one major reason, and that's the fact that Mayfair Games is out of business, or they've been bought by Asmodee. And with Age of Steam and other games existing, I feel like this one may just drop farther as time goes by because fewer people are going to play it. Then we have Goa. Goa was 97. It's now 148. Goa is an older game. I do wonder if at some point we'll see a reprint of this game being done. This game about collecting spices and bidding for different tiles in a row, and then it's kind of like a machinery type game. So I don't know. This will all depend on whether it's reprinted or not. Then we have Arcadia Quest here. It is 137, but it was 78 last time. Arcadia Quest is no longer, I guess, supported by Board Game Geek would be maybe that's a low term. It's still there, but they now have Starcadia Quest, which by the time you watch this video is being shipped to people all over the place, and that's what people are turning their eyes to. This is still a really fun game, and frankly, I'm surprised it's as high as it is, just because it's not a game that's going to appeal to everyone. I love it. Then we have Captain Sonar, which was 92 last time. Captain Sonar, a game in which you have 2 teams sitting across the table from each other with these giant shields in between them, and you're both trying to find each other's submarine. Lots of fun, but a very specific type of people like this, and it's going to be mostly played at conventions. Combat Commander Europe here is 134. It was 96 last time. From Chad Jensen, who unfortunately passed away this year. This is a straight-up hex war game, and yeah, it's a tactical game where you're down to the individual units walking around and fighting each other. Really well done. I played this, not necessarily in my wheelhouse these days, but I did enjoy it when I had a chance. Seriously? No, I'm just kidding. I don't care if my game's in the top 100. 135, or I'm sorry, 131 at this point, and it was 93 last time. Cosmic Encounter. It's going to fall a bit, but hey, this game is 40 years old, or 43 years old at this point in time. That's okay. It says 2008 here, but that's the Fantasy Flight beautiful version of the game. The original game came out a long time ago. And in fact, next week, I'm going to take a look at the original version of Cosmic Encounter and show you guys what it looks like. Paths of Glory. So this one here is now ranked at 130, but it was 91 2 years ago. This game was at one point in the top 5 ranked games on Board Game Geek. Again, because if you don't like this game, you're not going to play it. This is a game based on World War I. You look at that, some of you are going to run away in fear, but this was one of the first games that kind of turned away from the hex and counter and had point-to-point movement instead, which is why a lot of people like it. Nations is 129 here, but it was 84 last time. This is another Civilization-style game, but it's all about cards, building a card tableau in front of you. I personally would prefer to play Nations, the dice game, which is a way shorter game, but this one is good. I just feel like it's a bit too long. Then we have Santorini. It's 126. Last time it was 66. This one's a pretty huge drop. It's probably the biggest drop of all the games that have fallen out. I'm not sure why. I mean, Santorini, it's a beautiful looking abstract game. Maybe there was just a bunch of hype about it when it first came out. And you have these different powers, and you're trying to move a person to get into that position that you see this character here now. Each person has a very distinct power that's going to change the rules of the game. I love it. Suburbia, it's 123, was 83 last time. This is a city building game, and they just recently came out with, this past year, with the Super Ultra Deluxe version, although that's probably ranked differently. I know a lot of people love this one. Some people are going to argue that this one has been passed by and there's other games out there, but I still think it's a lot of fun. Then we have Jaipur. This one is 122. It was 99 last time. This two-player game, I'm going to go on record that this will not drop much farther by the next time we do this, if only because a new version of this just came out, a really pretty version. This is a great back-and-forth trading-style two-player game. Then we have the Lord of the Rings card game. This is 121, was 98. This one I think is going to drop more because a lot of the people who really like this one are probably playing the Arkham Horror card game now. And so there's a lot of movement over to that. And also people are going to be moving over to the Marvel Champions game, which is about to break into the top 100. I would imagine that's going to happen in the next couple months. Aura and Labora. So if you were following along, this is 118. It was 82. If you've been following along, Uwe Rosenberg dominated the top 100. I mean, he has a lot of games up there in the top. This is one of his games that's not quite as high as the rest of them, but this little device here about resources is still very unique as you move this dial around and keep track of how many resources there are of these many different types. It has the least variability of his big games, I think, but it has some grandiose strategy involved in it. Very good, but I think we'll see this one fade a bit, even if a new version did recently come out. Then we have Commands and Colors Ancients. This is 117, and it was 88 last time. This is the block version of Richard Borg's Commands and Colors system. It's also one of the few that has the name Commands and Colors in it, but think Memoir 44 and Battle Lore. And this one is really staying power. It's really well done, and I really enjoy it. Railways of the World was 90 last time. Now it's 113. This is the easier version of Age of Steam and Steam. Also the prettier version because you got plastic trains and houses. And you'll find that there's some very strong back and forth feelings about people who like which game better. I tend to like this one better because it's a much more wide open game. Then Chaos in the Old World was 87 last time, knocked down to 112. But I think in this particular case, there's two reasons. One, the game's out of print. And two, people are playing Eric Lang's other games, like Blood Rage and Rising Sun. And, of course, the new upcoming Ankh and stuff. So there's going to be that, and I think you'll see this one fade out. Again, it's hard to find and expensive. Then we have the Resistance Avalon, which for some reason is always slightly ranked higher than the Resistance. This is 110. It was 76 last time. Very good party game in which you're trying to figure out who amongst you are the bad guys. I was about to say spies, and then I realized this is Avalon. It's pretty much the same game as the original one. It just adds Merlin to it. Game of Thrones, the board game. It's 109. Last time it was 75. This is Game of Thrones in a box, and they made the second edition, which is the one that's ranked very highly, vastly superior to the first one in many ways, better pieces and stuff. But this game, which kind of came out of nowhere and came out before Game of Thrones was a phenomenon. Kirsten Peterson just really liked the books and stuff, and so he made this game. Very obviously has its roots in diplomacy, and a lot of people like it. This one surprises me. The next one, 108, it was before, now it was 70 before, now it's 108. It's Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It surprises me because I thought Suburbia would be ranked higher than this game. It seems to me like Suburbia is much more popular, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the idea of building castles. That's a very well done castle, actually. My castles are always a little bit more sprawling than this one. But yeah, I think that this one, I'm going to wager eventually you'll see Suburbia rise above Castle of Mad King Ludwig. Maybe. All right, 107, Ticket to Ride Europe. It was 85. The Ticket to Rides are now no longer in the top 100. Gateway games and such have a hard time staying in there, but this one has always been ranked higher than Ticket to Ride. I'm not sure why. I think it's an easier game to get into. I personally prefer the original Ticket to Ride, but I can understand why people like this one. But it's out of the top 100, and I don't think it's coming back. 104, Istanbul. This was once 89, and it was also once called Constantinople. Why the numbers changed, I can't say. Anyhow, this was a Kennerspiel des Jahres. It's very good. I like it just fine. I don't know. It's just time to probably knock this one down. And then we have, that was Istanbul. Then we have War of the Ring. This one's 102. And it was 73 last time. This one I'm a little surprised about, although maybe War of the Rings 2nd edition was in the top 100. I think that's, yes, it was. So there you go. The 2nd edition's knocking out the first one. And then finally, the game that was 101, and last time it was 79, and that's Legendary Encounters. Marvel Legendary is definitely the better selling game. People like it a lot. I like it better. But this is the more critically acclaimed one. If you like Legendary, but you want to play in the Aliens universe and have chest bursters and all sorts of things, then this is the game for you. So those are the games. We'll try to do this again in 2 years and talk about how things have changed. And we'll see what games are popping up in there. I'll tell you, Marvel Champions is going to move up in there. You'll see a couple other games. There's probably a game that comes out this year in 2020, which is going to shoot to the top 20. Who knows? But there you go. I'm done. Check out our channel for more things. And again, I want to thank Board Game Geek for making this possible. So much data there. We'll probably mine it for more fun, interesting videos in the future. But until then, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.